So it'll be B.J. Bailey getting us started for a Saturday doubleheader. Welcome back to the University of Tampa. I'm Taylor Storthy. Thank you for tuning in on the SSC Digital Network. And it is a very busy weekend for the Spartans and Panthers. The Davenport Panthers coming to town, and even though they dropped game one yesterday, they're looking to bounce back today as they take on another left-handed starter from the Spartans. Before we go deep into B.J. Bailey, let's take a look at the Panthers lineup for today. No changes except for a few positional swaps. Sam Clay leads off, followed by Wyatt Eppel. Justin Johnson bats third, Aiden Warren batting fourth, Dylan Pawlenski fifth, Travis Lyford sixth, Carson Lindau seventh, Aiden Arbaugh eighth, and Michael Gregus ninth. Defensively, Pawlenski's the DH today. Johnson forms the battery with Agar, who will be the starter for Davenport, and Warren is moving over to first base from the DH spot. So a couple of shuffles around the order for the Panthers. Defensively, they didn't have problems, but offensively, they had some struggles. I caught up with Coach Tidy, and he mentioned he'd love to see his team continue to stay competitive at the plate and just improve upon their approaches. They had a tough start against Robert Satin, but did put the Tampa ace in danger later in the day. Satin remained scoreless through 7 innings. But now it'll be B.J. Bailey trying to follow up a great outing with one of his own. He has been the innings-eating ace of the Spartans staff, 5-0 over 6 games with a 1.09 ERA. He has struck out 24 in 33 innings. Before the Satin outing yesterday, he had led all Tampa pitchers in innings pitched. He'll be looking to go pretty deep today. Tampa definitely want to keep their bullpen rested after some busy weekends back-to-back. And, of course, 4 games today, or this weekend, is something to watch for as well for the Spartans. So it'll be Clay getting us started out here. And Bailey on the bump. First pitch down low, first pitch time at 1:01 p.m., ball 1 to Sam Clay. So here comes Bailey, once again firing to the Panther shortstop. Popped up. That one's going to be flared to right field. Brooks closes in and makes the catch. 1 down to bring up Wyatt Eppel. Brooks had a really nice outfield assist last time around. He'd like to make another big defensive stop like that today. First pitch coming out of B.J. Bailey. Outside, ball 1. Yesterday, Eppel went 0 for 4. There were a handful of hits across the board for Davenport. They put 5 on the board, 3 against Satin. And that'll be their first hit of the day. Line drive up the middle out of reach of Martinez at short. A 1-out single for the Panthers. Let's give you Tampa's defense as we continue the first inning. Fikar is playing at the hot corner. Jack Martinez shifts over to short. Braden Woodburn at second. Walker Vanacek at first. Soto, Evans, and Brooks remain in the outfield. Irigoyen, the battery mate, to Bailey. A platoon change at the plate. The lefty Ponce getting the day off, although he could get a pinch hit appearance later today. Tampa adding the extra right-handed batter with Fikar, as well as solidifying the defense with the move, as that'll be the first strike taken for Bailey as Johnson falls behind 0-1. Bailey getting some quick outcomes. If you do have to give up a base hit, you'd rather it on the first or second pitch of the at-bat than lose a long, hard-fought battle. 0-1 now. And he fires into the zone again, 0-2. Bailey's definitely been more of a pitch-to-contact guy, and that does look and get represented in the ERA. 8 runs allowed this season, only 4 of them earned. Although Tampa's defense hasn't had too many problems, only 16 errors in 20 games. Quick turn, runner is safe. They are checking on Eppel, and I think that is a good idea. In terms of his activity on the base path this season, he has stolen 6 on 7 tries. Vanacek directly holding first. 0-2 out of Bailey. Hit on the ground and through the hole. Right out of reach of Fikar. That'll roll to the wall and could give Davenport the lead. It will give Davenport the lead. A standing RBI double for Justin Johnson. Baseball is all about hitting where the defense isn't, and that is a textbook example of doing just that. Very good swing on that previous play. Good form as he just gets on top of it and sends it down the line. For Johnson, that'll improve his average back over 400 surely and pick up his 25th RBI of the season. That one goes inside for ball one, doesn't hit Warren. Davenport were shut out yesterday, but have now turned it all around today, getting on the board here in the top of the first. Missing outside, 2-0. Tampa's been unbeaten at home this season. They carry a 17-3 record. They've been 10-0 at the Birdcage. Ironically, Tampa's had the most failures in Georgia this season as the count goes 2-1. They suffered a midweek loss against Savannah State to end their unbeaten start to the season early in February. And then to close out last weekend, they dropped the final game of the series against Georgia Southwestern in a 2-1 defeat. Close ball. I think it should be 3 now to Warren. Unless there was a late call early in the count, which I believe there actually might have been. So 2-2 coming out of B.J. Bailey. That's ball 3, missing down low. Good block again by Irigoyen. Gary Tchaikovsky and Garrett Little are your umpires today. Tchaikovsky behind home plate, Little in the infield. They're wearing blue today, which is a good idea with the heat, as the sun is starting to peek through the clouds a little bit more. Scattered clouds, although things should be remaining fine. Irigoyen with some discomfort. Urso's checking on him after a very awkward dive into the turf. Bailey also having a chat with the home plate umpire. Martinez having a chat with the infield umpire. Hopefully it's nothing serious for Irigoyen as he gets checked out by the coaches. Definitely an awkward play. And I think Irigoyen is going to be good to continue. And we'll have a full count. Pawlenski's on deck with a runner at second. The Panthers would love to get another runner. Davenport's had a very good year at the plate offensively. They're hitting .320 as a team. And their most recent game was the first time since Quincy when they've been held to 2 or fewer runs. They've only had 3 games this year where they've scored 3 or fewer. Twice against Quincy on their trip against that team. As that one's going to be rolled to first, will be out number 1, but advances the runner to third. 2 down. They started their season with a 3-4 loss to Rockhurst. Davenport then were able to have some good scoring games despite 3 more defeats, before winning the series against Indianapolis 16-6 and 5-4. Although the second game of that series, they dropped 6-2. There's 2 more runs onto the board. See ya! A monster shot from Pawlenski, bouncing back after a tricky day yesterday. It's usually Tampa that gets all of those baseballs. And after 3 strikeouts against Satin, Pawlenski gets 2 hits back-to-back to end the day yesterday and start the day today. Panthers up 3-0. That is Pawlenski's 7th home run of the season, taking back the Panther team lead. That is the first home run Bailey has surrendered as a Spartan. Low and inside, ball 1 the lie forward. I was able to check in with Bailey before his start today. And one thing I asked him what feels different about this year in D2 compared to D1. It's been mainly his mentality. Throughout his time with the Spartans, he's felt a bit more comfortable on the mound and trying to focus on not doing too much, play to his strengths, and do what he needs to do. For most of the season, it's been working, but Davenport have jumped on him to start the day today. They're up 3-0 as Tampa will now be looking to respond in the bottom half of the inning. 2 down and a 1-1 count. And that one's foul, and this time would have been in range for Fikar after a very tough hit rolled down the line for an RBI double from Johnson. That one rolled up the middle. They say it hit the bat. Bailey's throw is in the dirt, but on target. Tough angle to make that play, but good hustle out of Bailey. But it's a great inning for the Panthers. 3 hits and everyone scores. Notably, that 2-run shot by Powinski jumps the Panthers to a 3-0 lead in the top of the first. Tampa, for one of the first times this early in a game, so a big fly from Dylan Powinski puts Davenport up 3-0 as they have a very nice first inning after getting shut out yesterday. I'm Taylor Storley. Welcome to the SSC Digital Network and our coverage of the action for today's doubleheader between the Spartans and Panthers. On the mound for Davenport, it'll be Jeff Agar. He'll be tasked with going up against one of the most potent offenses in the nation. Here's how Tampa looks at the plate. Braden Woodburn leads off, followed by Gunnar Carlson. Batting third is Jordan Evans, and batting fourth, Joandrew Irigoyen. Batting fifth is Walker Vanacek, batting sixth, Jake Brooks. Javi Soto batting seventh, Jack Martinez eighth, and Luke Fikar rounds out the order. Fikar replacing Ponce today in what is a platoon change with the lefty Agar on the mound. Martinez moving to short, and Fikar picking up some defense at the hot corner. Later in the game, you imagine Ponce could get a pinch hitter defensive appearance. He'll also get a chance to rest, however, with a busy weekend ahead. But notably, it'll be Woodburn starting out an uncharacteristic 0-for-4 day yesterday for the leadoff man. But he did draw a walk, giving him one productive at-bat in his 5 trips. He's hitting .370, getting on base at a .500 clip, having a above 1,000 OPS. Just standard work for Tampa's number 2. Strike one in the outside corner for Agar. He enters with an 0-0 record. He's pitched 8 innings this season with a 6.48 ERA. Notably, the big thing that I was able to talk with Coach Tidy about for Agar is building durability. He mentioned that there are quite a few players on the pitching staff returning from injury this season, and Agar has been dealing with some injury problems over the last few years. So he's had a couple of short outings back-to-back, building up as the season's progressed. And you imagine that maybe now he'll jump from 4 to 5 innings on the mound today, as this one's going to be chopped on the ground right to the catcher. Foul. It'll be a 1-2. Definitely has to feel good if you're Agar out there on the mound. Seeing 3 runs on the board gives you room to make a couple of mistakes. Yesterday, Davenport did not have that luxury with their pitchers. Tampa getting up to a 4-0 lead in the third, and then closing the door on the mound. Roberts sat in another incredible outing, striking out 9 over 7 scoreless frames. Fikar was able to get 1 1/3 out of the bullpen before a platoon change. Saw Josiah Velasquez end the game with 2 strikeouts. Strike 3, it's dropped by the catcher. And Woodburn would have been able to go to first, but he'll just head back to the dugout. Right on the corner. Kind of an awkward play for Johnson to make at home plate. One down for Gunnar Carlson. Good day for Carlson yesterday. He had a 2 RBI base hit to give the Tampa Spartans an extended lead, but he also drew 3 walks in the game as well. That's increased his season total to 20, which is the team lead. Ponce, Vanacek right behind. Brooks and Woodburn tied for 4th. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Lefty-lefty advantage for Agar on the mound. He doesn't have other lefties outside of Carlson and Brooks in the Spartans' order today. 1-1 now for Agar. On the corner, but taken for ball 2. Good showing for fans for both teams, Davenport and Tampa, although a lot of people are in town for the St. Patrick's Day parade that had been happening throughout the morning. Saw a lot of fans walking over to around the bridge next to the street where the parade is happening as the count goes 2-2. And obviously a lot of people wearing green for St. Patrick's Day. It'll be on Tuesday this week, and the river will certainly be dyed green as well, a Tampa tradition. 2-2 on the way. Hit, foul, just down the third base line. Cloudy skies, but that's a good thing given the warm weather. About 83 degrees at the start of game time, and obviously with Floridian humidity, always is going to feel a bit hotter. But definitely nice weather to have this time of the year. Right down low inside, trying to get him with an inside breaking ball. Full count to Carlson. Ball 4, and that one goes all the way back to the net. Even if Carlson had swung, he'd be safe on a dropped strike 3. That'll be walk 21 to bring the tying run on deck for the Spartans. But for now, it'll be Jordan Evans trying to convert. I also had a chance to catch up with Jordan Evans pregame, and I was able to ask him, what does he like most about Tampa? Well, he said the culture. That's been a big thing for Tampa and Coach Urso's sides, having a strong culture as there's a pickoff throw. Carlson back standing. And you can definitely tell this is a very good team atmosphere. Even with so much roster turnover, the vibes are good and the players are really gelling. And that always leads to good performances out there on the field. Another disengagement. There's no limit for disengagements here in D2 level. There is a pitch clock, which was adopted across Major League Baseball as well. And as the clock goes down to 14, 13, 12, and 11, Agar gets set for the 1-0. That one's going to miss. It's a wild pitch to advance the runner. That'll make it a little bit easier to try to pick up an RBI. He was 1 for 3 yesterday. On the season, he's plated 19. Outside ball 3. Or ball 2. I got a little ahead of myself there. And the command is what Agar is currently struggling in this at-bat. Always easy when you're at the plate and don't have to offer. Evans has picked up 16 free bases this season. This one could be number 17. He's drawn 8 walks. He's been plunked 8 times. And yesterday, he took a pretty nasty pitch to the helmet. He mentioned that he's still hurting, but he is good to go. And this one hitting the inside corner for strike 1. It was good to see Evans get up after that rough collision with the fastball yesterday. And not only that, he actually picked up a steal later in the game. So 3-1 to Evans. Irigoyen awaits. And check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. The home plate umpire was not checking with Little. Instead, he was pointing for strike 2. So full count. 1 down for Evans with a runner in scoring position. Infield with a slight shift to the left. Outfield playing neutrally. Swing Swing and a miss. Chases the high heat. 2 down off 2 strikeouts for Agar. Long inning, which isn't a bad idea for the Spartans if they want to try to get to the Davenport bullpen. Davenport didn't need to really be active with their pitchers out of the bullpen yesterday. They had 5 gritty innings out of Sean Knorr. He gave up 4 runs but had 105 pitches, keeping Tampa quiet in the 4th and 5th innings as the count goes 1-0. And Flanders, despite some command issues, was effectively wild out of the bullpen with 3 innings, a 1-hit ball. But now it's Joander Irigoyen, ready to go with 2 down and a runner on. Here's the 1-0. Outside 2-0, and he'll get ahead again. Vanacek and Books await, lefty-righty combination. Righty-lefty combination, actually. And here comes the 2-0 out of Jeff Agar. High, ball 3. Both Irigoyen and Vanacek were hitless yesterday. Irigoyen 0 for 4, uncharacteristically quiet day for him at the plate. He's slugging .548, hitting .356. And Vanacek drew a walk and went 0 for 3. And that's ball 4. It's a 4-pitch walk to Irigoyen. We've seen 2 of the 3 true outcomes out of Agar, as it'll be the pitching coach heading out there to the mound to talk to him. His command has been here and there, and in that end of the at-bat against Evans, he wasn't throwing too many competitive pitches. A good fastball high and away, but it also had comfortably missed the zone, just a rough error on that missed swing from Evans, which helped him out in that full count. But Agar is going to need to locate the zone here against Vanacek. He has been very disciplined this season, drawing 14 walks, slugging a little quieter than the team average, .493 compared to Tampa's .496. Always good when your team can hit pretty much .500 for its slugging percentage. Tampa's held opponents to .286 in that stat this year, although you'd imagine that Powinski brought it up a couple points with his 2-run shot. 3-0 Davenport, but Tampa has the tying run at the plate. Let's see what the catcher turned first baseman does. Wonder if Vanacek would put on the catcher's gear if they needed to substitute Irigoyen after that awkward pitch he received in the dirt back in the first. High, it'll be missing ball 1 to Vanacek. Counting the end of the previous at-bat, 5 straight misses, and counting the strikeout where he missed the zone 7 straight times, Agar wasn't able to locate, even though he had picked up strikes. The streak ends there. Vanacek now 1-1. That one right over the heart of the plate. Checks the runner at second. Vanacek foul, 1-2. Agar has had all right strikeout stuff, but it's really on display early today. Tampa would love a timely base hit. Swing and a miss, and they'll leave 2 on the base path. A long inning for Agar, but alongside 2 walks, he strikes out the side, and Davenport exit the first with a 3-0 lead. We'll see how Tampa is home of many national championship winning sides, and that includes our swimming team. Yesterday at the National Championships, Tampa won the 200-meter men's relay. Great work from our Spartans to take home more National Championship gold, as Tampa's baseball team looks to make it 3 national titles in a row. 3 is also the number Davenport has on the board. They are up against the Spartans in the early goings. Lindau, Arbaugh, and Gregus, who had some gritty at-bats against Seton, will be ready to go this inning, starting with the second baseman, who went 0 for 3 yesterday. Swing and a miss. Fastball inside for strike 1. Despite getting into a little trouble, Bailey had a quick inning, relatively. 18 pitches and 12 strikes. There have been some pretty impressive upsets around the nation recently. Angelo State, a perennial powerhouse, lost their first game of the series against UT Dallas, 9-8. That'll be 1-2 now, missing from Bailey. That one's going to be rolled to second. Woodburn ranging, can't get it. And the batted ball luck is turning the way of the Panthers today. They'll get a leadoff single. Four-run lead, and you wonder if they're going to be doing a little bit of small ball here. I'd imagine they might have Arbaugh lay down the bunt for Gregus and Clay due up. Lefty-lefty matchup would make that call a bit easier. First pitch on the way from Bailey. Outside, going with a breaking ball, 1-0. Sometimes the balls just get hit in tough spots, and that previous single and the RBI double had been the case for Bailey, with Johnson poking it down the line out of reach of Fikar. Here's the 1-0. Sent foul, 1-1. Arbaugh went 1 for 4 yesterday. He's hitting .273 entering the weekend. He's put up the number by probably a couple points with his day yesterday. Strike 2. Bailey's had multiple 2-strike counts against Johnson, against Warren, against Lyford, and against Lindau, but none of them have ended via strikeout. In fact, batters are 2 for 2 in these counts against 2 for 4 against Bailey in these counts. Outside, 2-2. Close call in the corner and a good check swing from Arbaugh. Arbaugh, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks on the season entering the weekend, or entering today. Went down looking on a similar pitch to end yesterday's game. Swing and a miss, this time whiffs on the breaking ball. First strikeout for Bailey. 1 down, that'll open up the double play opportunity. Expect him to work away from Gregus to try to get a ball hit over to Fikar and Martinez. Also got to give a shout out to Burley Bocos, who just won the national title as well in the 400 IM. Quick pickoff throw, runner is safe. Very successful outing at the national championships for you, Tampa. Swing and a miss, speeding it up. That'll add a strike to the tally. 0-2. Strike 2. Beautiful spot there. We were a little bit ahead with our count. Now 2 strikes. Swing and a miss again, and Bailey. 3 straight strikes to get his second K of the day. And after that leadoff single, Bailey really picking up his stuff right here. Getting 2 quick outs. Back to the top of the order, and Sam Clay, and a quick pickoff throw keeps the runner at first. Lindahl has been dancing a little over at first base, getting a couple of fake little leads. Hasn't thrown off Bailey at all, though. He's remained focused, and he's seen some better outcomes here in the second inning. He is going to throw another pickoff ball over, though. As festivities happen downtown across the street, Bailey looks to retire the inning with a runner, but for now he'll quickly again check first base. He's hoping to get Lindahl jumping. Lindau's 2 for 2 on steals in the season. Davenport 7-12. They're 4-9 on road trips. As the count goes, 1-0. They're even in neutral site games, 3-3. Davenport haven't had a home game yet this season. They will be at home next weekend, as the count goes 2-0. They host Roosevelt for a 4-game series. Tampa took on, or no, it wasn't Tampa. Eckerd had faced Roosevelt, as did St. Leo, as part of a Florida trip for Roosevelt. Davenport also down here in Florida too, although their trip is just a little bit shorter. That one missing from Bailey. That'll make it 3-0. Eppel is on deck. He singled last time. Next weekend isn't just the first home series, but it's also the first game in GLIAC play for Davenport. As that is a strike on the low corner. Clay was ready to go to first, but has to go back to home plate. 3-1 now. Bailey avoiding the free pass. This has been a longer inning with some of these battles, though, for Bailey. Make it strike 2. He needs one more strike to end the inning. This will see Lindahl running. And I wonder if he's going to try a pickoff throw to see if Lindahl jumps early. On the corner, strike 3 called. 3 straight strikes gets Bailey out of the inning, striking out the side after a leadoff single. Batted ball luck has not gone the way of the lefty, but Bailey recovers with a clean second as Tampa trails 3-0. And we're ready to go. Bottom of the second. And what a start it was for Agar on the mound. He struck out the side, and after getting to a little bit of trouble, he's been effectively wild in the early goings. But let's see how he responds in a brand new frame. Brooks, Soto, and Jack Martinez due up. Jake Brooks has been known for his contributions at the plate this season, but what an outfield assist he had yesterday, retiring a would-be base runner on a clean hit to right field. He brought the relay throw back into the infield and got the runner out who was trying to extend a single into a double. The Coastal Carolina transfer has 1 for 3 and had an RBI yesterday. Also drew a walk. Strike 1. These 3 due up have gone on base quite a few times already. Soto had a 3-hit day yesterday. Jack Martinez got hit by a pitch twice. That'll miss 1-1. They're exactly who Tampa wants at the plate to try to end this scoring drought. They have been held scoreless over the last 6 innings of play, and now they trail 3-0 after that quick start from the Panthers. Swing and a miss, got tied up there, 1-2. Can Tampa's offense continue to respond at the plate? Last weekend they had some difficulties doing so against Georgia Southwestern. And that one missed, 2-2. It's a great chance for Davenport's pitching staff to rally after some pretty crazy games, a lot of them high scoring. Most of the Davenport games this year, as there's a deep fly by Books. The right fielder tracking it, and it is caught by the warning track. Good run by Arbaugh to retire Books. 1 down for Javi Soto. Continuing what I was mentioning, most of the games for Davenport this year have had more than 10 runs scored by a single team and more than 20 runs combined from both teams. The 2 highest scoring games of the year for them came back on February 20th, a 17-16 loss in 11 innings, and most recently before Tampa against Northern State, a 15-16 loss. They were playing down in Davenport, Florida. But obviously, the Panthers are from Michigan. That'll be on the corner, 1-1 to Soto. He'd like to continue after his 3-hit day yesterday. Soto's always kept a pretty solid GPA as this one's flared foul, 1-2. In high school, kept it above 3.4 throughout his entire tenure. Soto stands at 5'7", gives a smaller zone to Agar to work with, but he hasn't had early difficulties. He's up 1-2. Down the line and foul. That one ripped right by Lyford. Still 2 strikes. Agar gets set. Right outside, 2-2. Went off speed away. How deep will Agar be able to go? He had 25 pitches back in the first inning. This will be pitch number 35 of the game right here. 3-2 on the scoreboard. It is 3-2. And Soto into left field. Right over the head of the leaping Lyford. And just like the RBI double, that one rolls to the corner. It's a 1-out double for Soto. A lengthy battle ends to bring up Jack Martinez. Clean hit down the line. Taking a look at that replay. Good jump by Lyford, but just a well-placed ball to escape the defense. That'll see Coach Urso giving one of the bench players some gear. I think that might be Sammy Beer picking it up. Here's the first pitcher on the way to Soto. He's also able to catch up with Sammy Beer before the game. Sadly, I haven't had a chance to catch up with Coach Urso yet. I'll try to do that after this game, 0-1. Just like Coach Jimenez, Beer is hoping that the offense can stay back on track after a great day yesterday. As that one gets away, and we'll put Soto in scoring position. Beer's been pretty active as of late. Tampa are going to have a chance to try to rotate out some arms out of their bullpen. Although for now, I know they want to let Bailey go as deep as he can. For Agar, it's a question of how deep can he go, as he's still building durability. That one outside. Good catch there by Johnson. So 2-1 now to Martinez. After getting plunked twice today, wonder how he's feeling about seeing some errant command in the early goings. Martinez getting on base this weekend to start at a .432 clip. That one's high, ball 3. On deck is Luke Fikar. Off field, Jack Martinez would like to become a medical or want to work in medical device sales. Interesting aspiration for him. As that one's going to be rolled to third. Soto is going to stay on the bag. Martinez is just a step behind. Great play by Lyford. Soto tried to hold up the third baseman's throw by staying a little bit away from the bag, but couldn't slow him up enough for the runner to be safe. High leverage at bat for Fikar. Tampa do not want to leave runners on the base path again. Pitch count at 40 now for Agar. That one misses inside, 1-0. Two and 0. Fikar had a clean spot out of the bullpen yesterday. He'll probably be resting in terms of pitching today, but likely be ready on Sunday to help close out the series. 3-0. If Davenport bring a righty back on the mound next game, you'd imagine Ponce gets another spot at the plate. Let's see what Fikar can do this time around, and maybe he'll just try to take ball 4. And indeed, that one's low, ball 4 to Fikar. Tampa now have worked 3 walks against the starter for Davenport. He was able to go 4 innings last time, but maybe Davenport has to look to the bullpen a little early, keeping an eye on his pitch count. I'd imagine 60 to 70 is probably the limit for Agar, and he's about to hit 50 as the inning continues. Ball 1 up high, make it 5 straight misses, as Woodburn gets ahead 1-0. Woodburn struck out last time. Quiet weekend so far for Woodburn, but he's got the chance to turn it around right here. Tying run at the plate. 2-0. Ball lost in the dirt, although Johnson gets to it just in time for Fikar to not have a chance to advance. If there was 1 out, we could see Fikar running. He did have 15 steals last year with Hillsborough Community College, and he's 1 for 1 in steals so far with the Spartans. Quick pickoff throw. Good job by Warren to stay on top of it. Cloudy skies, but things remain dry here at Tampa. Fikar with the 2-0. 3-0 to Woodburn. Fikar stays put, but with Carlson on deck, he might be moving to second for free. Base is loaded for Carlson. Very interesting call. 3-1. Good work to not have 4 straight misses to Woodburn. I think if you're Woodburn, you're daring him to throw strike 2. Agar has retired 3 via the K today. 3 via the walk for Tampa. That one's flared foul. Would have been a good pitch to swing at. Indeed, it actually was a good pitch to swing at. Fikar will be running. 2 strikes, 2 outs. Soto will be ready to move on contact. Payoff pitch to Woodburn. Can Tampa's number 2 convert? Here's Agar from the stretch. On the corner, ball 4. Tampa's 4th walk loads the bases for Gunnett Carlson as a righty stretches and tosses out of the bullpen for Davenport. Lefty-lefty matchup, though. Carlson did draw a walk in his first try, working the count full. And now you imagine Carlson will get some better pitches to hit in this AB. Can Agar stay effectively wild and strand 3 runners? First pitch to Carlson. That one almost hits him, ball 1. Jordan Evans awaits. And I wonder if the inning continues to Evans, is this where Davenport will make the swap? More so a tactical change. Try to get out of the jam. I don't know if he's warming up, but maybe it would be Joe Trapoli in the bullpen as the count goes 1-1. A.J. Park has the lone save this season for Davenport. See if he's able to go out of the bullpen maybe too. 1-1 on the way from Agar to Carlson. Just high, 2-1. A walk is a bad outcome here, but not a world-ending outcome for Agar, especially because a base hit would turn a 3-0 deficit into a 3-2 deficit. Here's Carlson, 2-1 coming up from Agar. That one high and inside, 3-1. Carlson could get walk 21. On deck is Evans, who struck out in a long battle last time. Will the runners be moving 90 feet? Will Carlson wait? Could he see another full count? Agar out of the stretch as the pressure builds. Swing and a miss, hits the corner and gets a whiff. Full count to Carlson. The runners will be moving. More so out of principle than anything. They either go automatically or have to hustle if the ball's in play. Agar to Carlson. 3-2. Up high, and that's a run for Tampa. A gritty walk for Gunnar Carlson. It's an RBI walk as well, which points Javi Soto. That'll bring up Jordan Evans and make a call to the bullpen happen. I think the best way you could describe the outcome for Agar is effectively wild. Goes 1 2/3 with 3 strikeouts, but 5 walks. He only gives up 1 hit in that span. Question is, will they be able to get out of danger with the righty out of the bullpen? The thing is as well, it's not a pull because he was in a bad spot. It's a durability call, I'd imagine, for Agar, given that he's at 55 pitches. So he doesn't go super long, but keeps Davenport in. So out of the bullpen, it's two-way man Joe Shrepliwi. He's come in and trying to close the door. He's been very effective for Davenport out of the bullpen. 10 innings, 10 strikeouts, 10 walks, holding opponents to a 189 average. It was a very wild outing for Jeff Agar. He did strike out 3, notably getting out of a jam in the first. But with another walk leading to 3 straight, they have pulled the plug on his day-to-day. Also with this pitch count at 55. Ball 1 missing away from Shrepliwi. Ball 1 to Jordan Evans. Shrepliwi is a sophomore out of South Bend. His favorite team is the Chicago White Sox. My condolences, given how the White Sox have been these last few years. His favorite player is Ohtani, so, well, at the very least, one of his favorites happens to be doing pretty good. And like Otani, he is listed as a two-way player, but so far this season, he's been able to shine on the mound with a couple of outings on defense, too. High and inside, and it's 3-0 to Evans. He had to have a quick warm-up in the bullpen, and maybe he needed a little extra time to get settled in. On deck is Uruguayan, bringing the tying run to third if there's a walk, and it's another hit by pitch to Jordan Evans. This time he's up on his feet quickly. I think it hit more of the shoulder than the helmet, but he got plunked in the head yesterday, and he'll draw an RBI with one today. Fikar comes home. Woodburn to third, Carlson to second, and Evans to first. Bases loaded for Uruguayan, 2 down. And it's 3-2. I had talked to Evans about the hit by pitch earlier and said that was still hurting from the previous day. He's going to need a second ice pack when he gets back to the dugout as the count goes 0-1. Although for Evans, he won't be back to the dugout for quite some time. Good breaking ball, but misses inside, 1-1 to Uruguayan. When Evans is back on defense, he might get put to the test with some fly balls again. Shapliwi continuing, 2-1 now. He is working very quickly, but falls behind 3-1. I like his pace of play, but I imagine he'll slow things down here for an important pitch. Uruguayan could just let ball 3 or ball 4 come by and tie the game. Right down low, and Tampa have tied it up. 6 straight free bases for the Spartans. With 2 down, Fikar walked, Woodburn walked, Carlson walked, Evans got plunked on a 3-0 count, and Uruguayan draws a 5-pitch walk for Tampa to turn a 3-0 deficit to a 3-3 game. I know for Coach Tidy, this is a nightmare. Straight out of a horror movie. Because the one thing he's been stressing to me when I've had the chance to talk to him, he wants his guys to throw strikes. Guess what they're not doing today? 2-0. On deck is Brooks, who might actually have a second at-bat in the inning, as Shapliwi is going to get a talk with Johnson. And there is going to be someone quickly tossing out of the Davenport bullpen, as the sophomore, who's been very consistent this season for the Panthers, is just struggling out there today, just struggling to hit the zone. He's had 10 pitches, actually 11 pitches. One of them went for a strike. Everything else either missed for a ball or plunked Jordan Evans. And you got to feel for Jordan Evans. He just picked up his 9th hit by pitch of the year, overtaking Woodburn for the team lead. Tampa have plunked 21 on the season, but 2 players for the Spartans have combined for 17. Finally hits the zone, 2-1. Vanacek went down swinging in the first to end the inning, but he'll get up ahead 3-1 right here. On deck is Brooks, who flew out against Tagar. Agar at most could finish with 4 runs allowed on the day. And he will. Ball 4, Tampa takes the lead. 7 straight free bases for the Spartans. And Agar's day ends with 4 earned, with every runner that had been inherited from the bases loaded being walked or plunked home. Bases full for Jake Brooks. He'll take strike 1. First time we've seen Shapliwi get ahead in the count. For B.J. Bailey, he's got to be happy to see Tampa jumping to the lead as the count goes 1-1. Shapliwi set again. Inside, 2-1. Two down here in the bottom of the second. Brooks the other way, and for the first time, Shapliwi has a 2-strike count. 2-2 to Brooks, trying to make up for that flyout last time. His second at-bat of the inning, the 2-2. Swing and a miss. And the bases are left loaded. But Tampa did what they needed to do, bringing not just one, not just two, but 4 runs off of walks or hit by pitches to reclaim the lead. They only needed 1 hit to start to set the table. Discipline did the rest for the Spartans. We'll be back. Warm-up continues for B.J. Bailey. Welcome back to the SSC Digital Network. I'm Taylor Storley. And incredible discipline from Tampa's bats. They have capitalized on the command issues out of Agar and Tripliwi to bring home 4 RBIs the hard way. Not via base hit, but by walk, or in Jordan Evans' case, getting hit at a dangerous spot again. The good news is Evans was up quickly this time, and while he's definitely still in pain, he's got to be happy that Tampa's back in front. He's ready to go as Tampa's defense gets ready to work against Eppel, Johnson, and Warren. B.J. Bailey trying to recover after that shaky start, uncharacteristic out of the southpaw, who's been great on the mound for Tampa this year, and he'll force some weak contact to Martinez. Quick turn, got him! Good play at short for Martinez, 1 away. And he did so on the very first pitch. Justin Johnson hit the RBI double down the line. It was not a super hard hit, but it perfectly rolled right next to Fikar, out of reach, just in play. And it gave the first run of the game for the Panthers, and he'd eventually come home off the Powensky 2-run shot. 1-0 now out of B.J. Bailey. What even stings more for Bailey? He was up 0-2 in that count when that RBI happened. Make it 2-0 now. Johnson ahead. High 3-0. Bailey rallied after falling behind 3-0 to Sam Clay. Let's get out of the previous inning. Ultimately struck out the side after a leadoff single. And that one on the corner, but no call. It's ball 4. 1 on, 1 away for Warren. Bailey would like to force a double play right here. He's done a good job of forcing a lot of ground balls this season. And while he showcased good stuff, definitely a little bit more of a finesse arm, similar to John Luke Glanton, who will either be the later starter today or on Sunday. Glanton had been the Saturday starter for a while. Tampa's made the change to Bailey for Game 2, starting last weekend, ball 1. Be interesting to see who Tampa brings out for Game 4 of that series. Wonder if it'll be Tobin Moran back for a start as the count goes 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Bailey ahead. Warren did ground out last time. He's hitless for the weekend, although he did draw 2 walks yesterday and got plunked. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 4 for B.J. Bailey. 2 down for Powinski, who homered last time out. A repeat would give them the lead. Down low inside, ball 1. Makes sense that Bailey would open with a ball here. Powinski was first pitch swinging and first pitch crushing for home run number 7 in his first battle against Bailey. Ripped into the gap. Books is going to get there, but runners will be not at the corners. Good job by Books to keep the runner at second with a 2-out single. Travis Lyford now with 2 on and 2 away. Tying runs at second, go-ahead runs at first. Another clean base knock for Powinski. 3 hits in a row, counting his final at bat yesterday. The catcher DH has turned things around for Davenport. Here's the first pitch from Bailey. Strike 1 high and just on the outside part of the plate. Lyford grounded out to the pitcher in his previous at bat. It was a good play from B.J. Bailey. Picking up the out at first. Right-hander stretching for Davenport. I imagine he'll be entering the game for the next inning. 4-3 Spartans. He'll step off. It was close there. Good pickoff throw. Bailey's also got to be careful in the situation not to draw a balk. Haven't seen many this season. Straight up, I think we've only seen 1 so far here at Tampa. They got to be careful with those delayed steps. Here's Bailey in the 0-1. Fouled back, 0-2. He entered the previous inning with a strikeout, and he's got 2 strikes to Lyford. There's actually a similar count here, 1 and 2, to end the first inning against Lyford. Chopped foul, still 0-2. Quick conference on the mound. It's Woodburn talking to Bailey. Also gives a chance for the dugout to get some fresh balls. Interesting to see Woodburn coming over and chatting with Bailey as they're ready to continue. All Bailey needs is 1 more K. Did he swing? Check with the infield umpire. Yes, he did. Inning over. Couldn't hold up, and Bailey gets out of the jam. 1 hit, 1 walk, 2 stranded. Bailey holds on to a lead, completing 3 innings, as Tampa will try to convert the play. Warm-up continues. Tripliwi is back for the new inning. I am a little surprised given his rough command issues in the previous frame. And I think calling them rough could be a respectful way. Oh my goodness. That's what I mean with the command issues. He's been very good this season, but definitely an off day today, although he did leave the bases loaded, eventually striking out Books to end what was a pretty lengthy second inning. Tampa now trying to get to work with Javi Soto leading off the bottom of the third. He doubled back in the second, continuing what would be a big inning for the Spartans. First pitch, Shapliwi to Soto. And that hits him. Second hit by pitch he's thrown. Tampa has been frequently plunked throughout the series. And that'll bring up Jack Martinez, 1 on and no one out for the Spartans. Small lead for Soto, and nope, they're not even going to give Shapliwi a chance to open to Soto. There's the call to the bullpen. And while he got out of the previous inning, Shapliwi's tricky day comes to a close. There is a chance he could be active later today. He didn't have too many pitches out there, given how many of them missed. But if not, maybe their high-leverage guy could be back on Sunday. For now, though, it's a So here we go with the warm-up continuing for Jimmy Amptman. Amptman has been the best reliever out of the Davenport bullpen this season. A 2.08 ERA, that's the team lead, and he hasn't just had that in a handful of innings. He's had multi-distance inning outings out of the bullpen, 8 2/3 in 4 games pitched. Struck out 8 over 8 2/3. He did walk 10, however, so keep an eye on how his command is today. Joe Shapliwi, who has the second best ERA out of the bullpen for Davenport this season, definitely had some troubles locating the zone. Crucially, though, he didn't give up a hit against the Spartans, but Tampa did bring home 4 RBIs on walks. Or hit by pitches as well, from the Jordan Evans at bat. Tampa's just had 1 hit today, and that was from Javi Soto in the previous inning. Soto just got his first walk of the game as he waits at first. Well, actually got hit. I guess I should just probably normalize it and say it's a free base anyway. Let's see how Ant-Man can do. I'd imagine he's amped out there on the mound today. And yes, that is a terrible pun as we get started with Jack Martinez. Martinez grounded out in a 3-1 count his last at bat. Good first pitch. That's going to be strike 1 from Ant-Man. Ant-Man is a junior out of Sycamore, Illinois. Previously out of Heartland Community College. Runner goes, and that hits Martinez. So Soto's going to be safe. He would have been safe either way. Great jump. 3 hit by pitches already for Tampa. And if you think about the 8 walks that have occurred, that is 11 free bases for the Spartans with just 6 outs tallied at the plate. Yesterday, Tidy said he was impressed with his team's ability to throw more strikes. There were a handful of walks across the board from their pitchers, but they were effectively wild for the most part. Today, it's a little more just on the wild side, as there's going to be strike 1, Ant-Man opening with another strike. Fikar worked 4 straight misses to load the bases in his previous at-bat. Fikar is most known for his pitching with the Spartans, but last year he hit over 300 with Hillsborough Community College, as he'll try to bunt the runners over 0-2. He was named Team MVP last year. Very solid work as a two-way man. And yet another transfer out of the Citrus Conference to the Spartans. One of the top divisions in NJCAA athletics, supplementing this Tampa roster with so many players. 0-2 on the way. Down low, 1-2. Two on and no one out. Top of the order, and Braden Woodburn due up. Woodburn trying to turn around what has been a bit of a quiet weekend. He's 0 for 5, although he did walk twice, including an RBI walk last time around. Up the middle, this could be 2. Flip to second, not in time to first. A sharp hit that puts runners at the corners. Martinez is out, Fikar is safe. And Woodburn has 2 on board and 1 away. And do they send Fikar? That's the question. He had 15 steals last year, already mentioned. And that is not a hit for the Spartans. Good fielder's choice. Tampa still just had 1 hit on the day today. Runner goes. There's the throw. No, fakes it. I think that will go for strike 1, as Fikar picks up a second steal of the season. Good location. And smart move by Johnson, making sure there's no double steal opportunity. On the corner, strike 2 to Woodburn. Woodburn's had 2 strike counts in each of his 2 tries today. He was able to work the full count walk last time, but went down looking in the first on a very nicely placed spot from Agar. But now against the righty, 0-2 on the way from Ant-Man. On the black, but just outside. 1-2. Woodburn doing a bit better with his on-base prowess this year, slugging at a similar rate. He picked up 8 home runs, 57 RBIs last season, and just was shy of 20 steals. Ball 2. He was a conference and regional second-team player last year. I reckon he's on the running for first team this year in terms of his prowess and stats at the plate. 2-2 on the way to Woodburn. Woodburn to deep center. Tracking back is Apple. It is caught on the run. They won't have time for 2. It's a sac fly for Woodburn, but it would have scored both runners if it dropped. So great catch by Apple. But Tampa goes up 5-0. Or 5-3. To Tampa's Carlson now. He's walked twice today. Had 3 walks yesterday. It's a 5-walk series for Tampa's DH. He'll take strike 1. His lone hit for the weekend was a 2 RBI base knock. Only has Fikar in scoring position here with 2 down. 0-1 from Amptman. Close call, but it's 1-1. That was low, and I think just too low to get the strike. Checks the runner, 1-1. Tipped foul, was going to break into the zone on that slider. Good swing decision from Carlson. He worked full count walks before. He'll have to find a way to get 3 more if he wants to keep that walk streak up. 1-2, Antman trying to retire the inning with just the sac fly surrendered. Strike 2. Checks the runner, 2-2 to Carlson. Down to the dirt, runner stays put. Fikar almost slipped as he was ready to jump. 3 balls, 2 strikes. On deck is Jordan Evans, who once again had a very awkward hit by pitch. This time closer to the shoulder than his head, thankfully. Fikar with a bit of a lead at second, he stays put. And Carlson flared to left field. A lot of carry, and it is gone! The wind gave it some extra ride, and Tampa leads 7-3 in the bottom of the third. Another 2 RBI base hit for the weekend. Carlson gets home run number 2. Very awkward swing, I'll say, off the bat, but it did exactly what Tampa wanted. 5 walks and 4 RBIs. Great start to the weekend, as this will be a first pitch for Evans, strike 1. That launch angle did not look like it was going to go that deep, but the wind must have taken it a little bit further. As Evans is going to take one to left field, that will drop a 1-hopper to Gregus. And after being held to just 1 hit with a lot of walks, Tampa chains 2 back-to-back to continue with 2 away in the bottom of the third. Antman's hitting the zone, so we'll have the ability to go deeper out of the bullpen, even with Tampa starting to get to him. For Coach Tidy, the batted ball outcomes are a little less meaningful than the locating pitch outcomes at the moment, and Antman's done a good job of filling the zone and getting strikes. 2 outs, 1 on for Joandre Irigoyen. Quick pick off to Evans. I asked Evans maybe he might get another steal today, given he's had a couple this season, and he's in a position to potentially jump. Another quick turn, Evans is safe. I also asked Evans if there's a teammate of his that maybe he's been flying under the radar that he'd love to see get back to work and get a chance to shine. He said Nick Pereira was his choice. Nick's been recovering from an injury. He's had a couple of appearances. Evans is going to be safe. Another steal for the number 13. So for Jordan Evans, make that number 11 on the season. Pereira has only had 1 plate appearance. Had a great year last year at Florida Southwestern College. If Tampa jumps to a big lead, Pereira and some other Spartan reserves could get some plate appearances. Still pretty close, though, as the count goes 2-1. Actually, 2-0. Right on the corner, 2-1. Irigoyen's walked in both of his trips to the plate today. Check swing, didn't go, 3-0. No, he did go, 2-2. It would have been 3-1. But nope, 2-2. Very close call on the check from Irigoyen. Amped man trying to end the inning right here. Looks at the runner, looks at Irigoyen. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Irigoyen flies to center, should be in range for Epple. He's got to keep turning. That's going to fall at the wall. 8-3 Tampa. Standing double for Irigoyen with 2 away. First hit of the weekend for Irigoyen, and that'll bring up Walker Vanacek. Irigoyen's RBI tally is now at 26 on the season, with that RBI walk and RBI double. Let's see what Vanacek can do here, as there now will be some activity in the bullpen for Davenport. You'd imagine that if Antman can get the out, he'll be back here in the bottom of the 4th. First pitch on the way from Antman. Poked foul, 0-1. Vanacek worked a walk in the 2nd. Also driving in the go-ahead run. One and one now. Down in the dirt, 2-1. Vanacek's also had a great ability to get on base, a .419 on base percentage entering today. Looking to get that slugging back over 500. 3-1, although if you can't get the slugging back up, he wouldn't mind drawing his 16th walk of the season. Would add a base runner for Books, as a lefty would likely get the call out of the bullpen for a platoon matchup. Books walked against Chapliwi last time out. Or struck out against him last time out. 3-2, full count. That strikeout was the only out Chapliwi could get, although for the South Bend native, it was a good outcome for him to leave the bases loaded and keep the deficit to 1 for Davenport. But since then, Tampa have added to the tally. Payoff pitch, Amptman to Vanacek. Down in the dirt. And it's another walk for the Spartans. That was not a walk based off command issues. That was just a hard-fought battle from Tampa on offense. Two on, 2 away, and Jake Books gets another try. Beforehand, though, there will be a conference between Johnson and Amptman. No movement from the dugout as the lefty keeps warming. Unless they're trying to kill some time for him, I'd imagine that Amptman gets another chance. He's a junior out of Sycamore, Illinois. However, indeed, it looks like it is going to be a change. Books will face a lefty again with 2 on and 2 away. We'll be right back. So here we go with a call to the bullpen. It'll be Connor Apligian, the senior out of Northville, getting a chance to try to get out of the jam. He's previously at Kellogg Community College. He's inherited 2 base runners and will take on the lefty Jake Books. Apligian this season has picked up a 21.6 ERA and just 1 2/3 out of the bullpen. He's appeared in 5 games, mainly as a loogie, lefty-only guy, but has had some struggles. A lower leverage outing here, but he would like to keep things within reach for Davenport if they can chain some more offense against B.J. Bailey. Only thing keeping Bailey from a really deep outing now is these long in-between innings as we continue with the lefty Jake Books. Apligian is a pretty big Tigers fan. His favorite athlete is Tariq Skubal, the lefty ace of the Tigers staff. Skubal also featured recently here in the WBC with Team USA, as that'll be ball 1 missing away. Last season for Apligian out of the bullpen. Had 14 strikeouts, 8 walks, in 14 innings. Solid command. And he'll hit the corner, strike 1 to Books. Books, the only Spartan to not have a productive at-bat or reach base today. Fly out and strikeout for him so far. On the corner, strike 2. That is an unlucky call for Books, but hey, you can't fight City Hall. He's just got to get ready to rebound. 1 ball and 2 strikes for Jake Books. Apligian trying to end the inning with his first at-bat on the mound. Still 1 2. Chopped foul. Books stays alive. Tampa's had 190 runs now on the season, counting the Friday game for the runs total in terms of how much they've scored. Swing and a miss, and Apligian strikes out Book to end the inning. Puts out the fire in a dangerous spot, and while Tampa does bring home 3 runs, that's all the Spartans can muster. Tampa up 8-3, and it has been 2 stories. A team that has command and a team that has struggled with it. Bailey has just 1 walk surrendered on the mound, and while he did give up a 2-run shot, he's still in line for a quality start with 5 strikeouts over 3 innings. Meanwhile, Tampa have had plenty of free bases, 11 in total off of 8 walks and 3 hit by pitches. Bailey will be looking for a clean inning here, as Tampa now gives him extra run support, an 8-3 lead. Lindau, Arbaugh, and Gregus due up. Game started at 1:01 p.m., and these lengthy innings from the Spartans have already had us have 90 minutes of baseball. First pitch on the way from Bailey. Ball 1 in the inside corner. Line into left field. That is caught on the run by Javi Soto. Stayed in the air longer than it looked like it would. And it's bad news for Lindau, who thought he was going to have a clean base hit. One away. Hit foul. That'll be strike one to Arbaugh. Bailey continuing on the mound. He was active at Clemson last season. He also helped with weekly community service projects with the Tigers. 0-1 now for B.J. Bailey. Chopped foul, 0-2. Fouled back, still 0-2 to Arbaugh. I'll likely have a chance to check in with Coach Urso and Tidy before game 2 of the doubleheader today. And I already know the answer for Coach Tiny of what he is going to want Davenport to do better in the next game. And that is to throw strikes, something he has been very adamant about most of the weekend. But those problems have been present today. 6 strikeouts for Bailey. Swing and a miss, 2 down. And apart from the one against Sam Clay, who's on deck, Bailey has gotten all of his strikeouts via swing and a miss. Great recovery after what was a very nice start to the game for the Panthers on offense. On the ground first, picked up by Vanacek, and he's got plenty of time for out number 3. In the blink of an eye, Bailey's made it through 4. Although this could be a lengthy blink before Bailey gets back onto the mound, can Tampa have another patient and ruthless inning at the plate to try to extend their 8-3 lead? Or can Apligian keep getting back to winning form after So here we go with a brand new inning, bottom of the 4th. Let's take this chance before things get started to take a look at the SSC standings. Tampa holds on to the lead in the conference with a 6-0 record. They're tied with Rollins, who are 7-0. Rollins coming off of a huge winning streak entering the weekend. Tampa looking to build one of their own. Second in the conference, or third in the conference, is Eckerd. What a year they have had. They notably took on a GLIC foe in Roosevelt a few weekends back. And they won one of those games 22-0. It was a 7-inning doubleheader that got called early because of a lightning delay. But given that they were up 22-0 and they only needed 3 more outs on defense, both teams agreed, let's get inside before things get really nasty with the weather and take the win, as it was a pretty comfortable margin. Swing and a miss, strike 1 for Soto. Soto, Martinez, Fikar due up. Each of the 3 got on base in their previous at-bats. Yeah, Eckerd third in the conference. 4th is Embry-Riddle. 5th is Florida Southern. Sixth sees a tie between Nova Southeastern and Florida Tech. And eighth is the Berry Bucks. On the ground, that will get through the hole. Scooped it short. Tough throw across the diamond. It's going to be a few steps behind Soto. Leadoff single for the Spartans. What a play, though, by Clay. He did everything he could on that one. Accurate throw, great sliding grab, but Soto is fast enough to make that one of the easiest singles for himself this season. One on for Jack Martinez. Martinez got plunked last time. He's 0 for 1 with that hit by pitch. Fikar awaits. Did he go? No, he did not. Ball 1. Apligian facing the three righties to start the frame. The bullpen empty for Davenport. They're hoping that they can get a longer outing out of him today. Swing and a miss, 1-1. The last two outings were a little bit shaky for Apligian. He tried to close the door against Quincy, but gave up the go-ahead plays. That one's lined to left field. That'll get down for Martinez. Soto thinking 3, safe. Runners at the corners with no one out. And that'll bring up Fikar. But indeed, it was a walk-off single for Quincy in Apligian's last outing. Or in that outing against Quincy. And then most recently against St. Cloud, Apligian couldn't get out of the jam. He got out of the jam with a couldn't get out of the jam with a strikeout. As there's a quick pickoff throw. He entered in a lefty-only situation, giving up a strikeout and a hit. That strikeout, I believe, was a drop third strike that allowed the runner to advance. But he's done better so far today. Can he get out of danger? Another quick pickoff throw, wary of the double steal threat. Martinez hasn't had a chance to steal yet today. 2 out of 2 successful tries this season. That one misses 1-0. Two games today for Davenport and Tampa, and they'll have a fourth on Sunday to close out the series. Very busy weekend for both teams. Usually SSC conference ties are just 3 games long. Tampa getting a chance to get more people active throughout the weekend. Short lead for Martinez. Stays put. Fouled. 2-1. Only Tampa's been able to finally get some more hits on the board. They had 3 in the previous inning, 2 to start this frame. But after scoring 4 in the second, they had done so via walk and hit by pitch. As there's yet another pickoff throw on the 2-1 count. Apligian with his eye on Martinez. Popped up. This should go deep enough for a sac fly. Caught by Epple. Runner tags up, and it's 9-3 Tampa. One down as Soto makes it home. Braden Woodburn 1 on 1 away. Fikar gets his 3rd RBI of the season on that hit. A clean sac fly, but it's also the first out of the inning for Apligian. First pitch to Braden Woodburn. Runner goes. Quick pop by Johnson. Throw gets into the outfield. And a quick turn from Martinez gets in the 3rd. Steal and an error. The Spartan shortstop, his 3rd steal of the season. First error of the weekend out of either team, coming from the Panthers. Another fly ball, if Woodburn hits one this time, would make it a 10-3 Tampa lead. They're up by 6 here in the bottom of the fourth. The 0-1. On the corner, 1-1. Apart from the sack fly, quiet weekend for Woodburn. Drawing 2 walks and he's 0 for 5. 0-2, or 1-2. Apligian looking for out number 2. He's got the lefty Carlson on deck. Carlson homered in his last plate appearance. 2-2. Martinez stays put. Good block by Johnson. Two on the way. Fouled. Woodburn stays alive as he tries to get back in the hit column. Woodburn has picked up 12 steals in the season on 14 attempts. He is on pace to eclipse his stolen base tally from last season. Two from Apligian. Hit sharply to third, just out of reach of the diving Lyford. RBI single, and it's 10-3 Tampa. Second RBI of the series for Braden Woodburn. That will bring the season total up to 21. Carlson, lefty, ready to go. Right-handed arm, left-handed batter. Quick off, safe, so close. They got Woodburn leaning the wrong way, but Woodburn narrowly avoids the tag. You could see the frustration out of Apligian. He thought he got him. Woodburn was caught stealing yesterday on a throw from Zawinski. Another turn, Woodburn safe. A little bit slow to react on some of these pickoff moves, but he's avoided the tag both times. 10-3, Tampa leads. Bottom of the fourth. Well, that'll give Woodburn a free base. Fastball missing inside, 1-0. Another wild pitch. Woodburn's in scoring position for Carlson. On the corner, 1-1. Good spot for that fastball. Checks the runner. Here's the 1-1. Breaking high and inside, 2-1. Inside again, 3-1 to Carlson. Worked 2 walks already. Will he draw a third and a sixth of the weekend? Jordan Evans awaits. Will Tampa get a second base runner with 1 down? It's 3-1 to Carlson. Swing and a miss, 3-2. Every single Carlson at bat has gone to a full count. And every single time, Carlson's won the battle. Homered last time and 2 walks previously. Payoff pitch. Woodburn staying put. Ball 4. Third walk of the game And that will see a call to the bullpen, righty-righty matchup for Jordan Evans. Not a bad outing at all for Apligian. 1 strikeout, 1 walk, 3 hits, and 2 runs allowed. He does make it through 1 full inning as Davenport go to someone new to try to get out.
Twenty-one. 2-1, Gil. 21, 2-1 on the mound. Go Seller.
Colin Ignatiak gets the call out of the bullpen for Davenport. He has had one appearance out of the bullpen this season, a low leverage outing where he gave up a couple runs. The freshman is looking for a clean inning right here. At the very least, a clean 2 outs to get out of the frame. I'm Taylor Storley. Welcome back to our coverage here on the SSC Digital Network. Ignatiak, also a fan of the Detroit Tigers. He's a freshman out of Lake Orion. He went 23-8 on the mound during his senior year. Well, his team went 23-8. However, they unfortunately lost in their state semifinals. He was an all-conference member as a senior. Change will see Evans be his first opponent. Evans got plunked in the first at bat for Shrapliwi earlier today. Singled and struck out. He's 1 for 2. Down low, first pitch ball to Jordan Evans. Irigoyen and Vanacek due up. Hit to deep left field, and there it goes, see ya! Gets revenge for the hit by pitches with a 3-run shot. Jordan Evans puts Tampa ahead 13-3. He still hasn't fully recovered from either HBP, the one from earlier today, or the dangerous one on his helmet yesterday. But he's got to feel good about that 3-run shot, his second homer of the year. His second homer as a Spartan. First pitch on the way to Joander Irigoyen. Strike 1. You know, if you've got to give up a run, I think you'd rather find the zone and just be taken deep than suffer due to command issues. Here's Ignatiak, though. 1, missing outside, 1-1. You're going 3 productive ABs, doubled, walked, and walked. RBI walk and RBI double. You're going to put up 2 runs at the plate today. So Tampa had a chance to play a little bit of catch-up earlier after trailing 3-0 in the first. They were even held scoreless. But since then, the Tampa offense, Spartan fans know and love, has come back in full force. They've also picked up plenty of hits as the game's continued, but still have more walks as the count goes 2-2. 8 hits, 8 free bases with the walk, and a couple more with hit by pitches too. That one's going to miss, 3-2. Driven to center field, Eppel backing up, and then it's almost over his head, but he's just enough time to make the catch. Round number 2 for Walker Vanacek. Vanacek struck out in his first try. He's walked twice since. He'll get a behind the count, 0-1. Good location out of Ignasiak. Great recovery for him so far. As that'll miss down low, 1-1. After the first at-bat home run, what a rebound for him. Getting that fly out. Inside 2-1. Hit sharply through the hole. That is another hit. Vanacek's first of the game. Can Jake Brooks break the unlucky streak of ending each of the last 3 innings, or 2 innings? Struck out both times to end the second and third, and has a runner on here with 2 outs in the fourth. Vanacek now with his first hit of the weekend sets the table for Jake Brooks. First pitch on the way, Vanacek staying at first. Strike 1 to Jake Brooks. Nine hits and 9 walks for the Spartans offense. High, but going to stay in the infield for Warren, who will pull away for the second baseman to make the catch. Hitting over as Lindau makes the play, and the side is retired. That is not before 5 runs get plated on. 5 hits, 1 error, 1 stranded. All of those runs are earned as the error came off of a fielding play. So we'll be back in the top of the 5th. Tampa up.
Right? 15?
Can't tell. It's probably still So Bailey stays on the mound, but we do have some defensive changes for the Spartans. Dennis McCaffrey in right, A.J. Graham at second. Tampa's up by 10, so they'll do a couple of rotations as Tampa batters begin their fourth trip through the order. But for now, it's a third trip through the order for the Davenport Panthers. Clay, Epple, and Johnson. First pitch from Bailey. Ball one just high. Bailey now on 59 pitches today. He's got the chance to go pretty deep, and he's got the run support now where Urso can just kind of sit back and let Bailey work. If it was a closer game, you'd have to think about the bullpen a little more actively. I think the dream for Urso would be for Bailey to go the distance and keep the bullpen fully healthy for Game 2, which is coming up next. Who is Tampa going to start in that game is going to be the question. It'll either be John Luke Glanton, or my second guess would be Tobin Moran. They could save Glanton for the Sunday game. It'll be one of those two for Game 3 of the series and the other for Game 4, I'd imagine, as the count goes 3-1. You could even see another pitcher who hasn't been super active get some outings. Someone like a Clade Cadron, a Slade Natcherman, a Corey Lyle, a Garrett Hill getting some starts. That one hits off of Bailey on the mound, but thanks to his body, he'll make the toss to first for out number 1. That one's got a sting, but Bailey's all right. One down for Wyatt Epple. I also wonder maybe if it'll be Alex Lash getting a chance on the mound. I saw Lash doing some pole throwing before the game, similar to the Yamamoto javelin throws that he's famous for his warm-ups with. I'd imagine Lash will be someone that can get some chances on the mound today for the Spartans. The count goes 1-0. Game 1 will be a more heavy Bailey outing, but whether it's Glanton or Moran, there will be more bullpen usage, I'd imagine, for the second game of the doubleheader for the Spartans. 2-0, missing away. Justin Johnson on deck. Epple 1 for 2 with a single and ground out. On the corner, 2-1. That one's hit to short. Picked up by Martinez. Throw takes a hop and is in time. What a highlight play out of Jack Martinez. 2 down. With a diving stop, showcases the glove at short. Really good defense across that left side of the infield for the Spartans. Strike one, hitting the outside part of the plate. It's 0-1 to Justin Johnson. Walked and doubled previously. Was 0-2 with his double, which brought home a run. 4-0 for his 4 straight pitches walk against Bailey. And now he's going to have a 1-1 count. First time he's seen a ball and a strike in a single at bat. It was a very nice hit for Johnson down the line. Just got it in fair territory next to the base. As the count goes, 2-1. That looked good, but just a little high. Outside, 3-1. Johnson's a senior out of Utica, Michigan. Previously at Cloud City and Mid-Michigan Community Colleges over his first few years of his career. Also a big fan of the Detroit Lions. Wow, that one leaves in a hurry, and it is foul, just by a hair. Fikar with a pretty good point down the third base line to showcase that. I'd love to have seen the exit velo off of that swing, probably over 95 miles an hour. That's probably a very low estimate, honestly. 3-2. Bailey needs one more strike to complete the 5th. Hit to right, and while Vanacek gives chase, that is out of play off the net. Still 3-2. Really big impact to start his career at Davenport last year. Hit .329 with a .548 slugging, .425 on base, and 9 home runs He's already had 7 this season with 26 RBIs, make it 27 with his double earlier today. One thing he's missing out of his numbers from last year is a triple. He hasn't picked one up yet. 3-2. Fouled, and Johnson continues the battle. St. Patrick's Day festivities continue across the street. Almost a bit of a mini Gasparilla celebration, too, with some pirate ships on display. Wonder if once festivities end, fans could come home here to the birdcage as there's a swing and a miss, and Bailey ends the inning. 7 on the day for B.J. Bailey, and he has retired 7 straight batters. One through the bottom of the 5th, Tampa. So, staying on the mound is Ignasiak. He'll wrap up his warm-ups. There are some changes around the diamond. Notably, home plate, I believe it'll be Garrett Swan fully replacing Justin Johnson. This could also just be a warm-up thing, as Johnson needs to put on his catcher's gear. But it looks to be one of the few changes we're seeing. Lyford staying in the game, Clay staying in the game, Warren staying in the game. And unless there's other swaps in the outfield, it's just the catcher being swapped here with Garrett Swan. Ignasiak got out of the previous inning after surrendering a 3-run shot. He'll be looking for a clean inning this time around against Soto, Martinez, and Fikar. And so far, those 3 are still ready to go at the plate. But Tampa are, I think, looking to make some future changes. They've already substituted Graham and Jake Brooks on defense. Graham came in for Woodburn. Brooks got replaced by McCaffrey. Soto now has a 5-hit weekend. 5 for 6 at the plate with a hit by pitch. And he'll take ball 1 from the freshman. Ignasiak missing low. High and inside, 2-0. Apart from the 3-run shot, a clean inning for him last time out. After a shaky start to his collegiate career, he'd love to continue good work against the defending national champs. High again, 3-0. Could be a 3-pitch walk to start the frame for Soto. With Martinez, looks like he is getting changed. Is that going to be Nick Pereira? It is. Nick Pereira on deck. He's someone Jordan Evans was hoping to see. It's ball 4. So actually it'll be Jake Turr. Pereira is ready to go eventually. But first it's going to be Jake Turr, the utility man for the Spartans. Turr able to play all across the infield. Hitting .333 this season in limited appearances, 20 tries. He hit for 100 last year. First pitch to Turr, strike 1. Turr is a sophomore out of Tampa, a local product. He was part of the top-ranked team in U18 play by Perfect Game's ranking systems a few years back, as the count goes 1-1, back in high school. Play all across the infield. I'd imagine he'll look at the hot corner or short for his substitution. 1-1 now. Soto stays put. 2-1. Turner doesn't get a lot of chances to shine, but he has genuinely been super consistent. He's drawn 5 walks this year for Tampa, getting on base at a 529 clip. He got on base at a 435 clip last year. Hit to second, this could be 2. We'll have to hustle. And they'll make the flip to Clay, and he drops it! An error by Clay puts 2 on for the Spartans. That'll lower the average, and Clay making a rare error at short, not able to hold on to the ball. And that'll bring Luke Fikar to the plate. He is getting replaced by one of the JV players who has become a big part of this Tampa team, Devin Goldberg. Goldberg isn't still fully listed on the Spartans roster, but he has been here every single time this season to check in if they need some help, as he almost gets hit in the head. Ball 1 to the sophomore out of Bridgewater, New York. Four RBIs and a .212 average for Goldberg in the JV side. That one's flared to right and will be out number 1. Tagging up to third is Soto. He'll be safe. Although that play is close. Good throw from Arball. Productive out to bring up A.J. Graham, at the top of the Spartans order. Gunnett Carlson will likely be the one to be replaced by Pereira on deck. Makes sense with Pereira still recovering from injury to be in more of a hitting instead of defensive substitution role, with Carlson being the DH. Runners at the corners. First pitch now. That one missing outside to A.J. Graham. Ball 1. Graham has really showcased the power this season. He's hitting .286 with 3 home runs and a .630 slugging percentage. He was drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates. Came to D2 not too long ago as the count goes 2-0. Graham had a big 2-home run game earlier this season against Montevallo during the opening home weekend. In fact, one of his home runs gave Tampa a run rule victory. 3-0. Nick Pereira awaits, looking for his second at-bat of the season with the Spartans. Similar to Maddox King, rehabbing an off-season injury. And that'll be strike 1 to Graham. Evans mentioned that Pereira is someone he's excited to see get a chance later throughout the season, and it looks like he'll get a chance at the plate right here if there's no double play. Time is called. 3-1. Ignasiak would love a sharply hit ground ball for a double play. Infield playing double play depth. And that's ball 4 to Graham. Bases loaded. So bases loaded for Nick Pereira. The junior out of Palmetto Bay, previously with Florida Southwestern College. Also, again, in the Citrus Conference, is ready to go. 19 multi-hit games last year at FSW. Ball 1, high and inside. Redshirted his first season at FSW, but 2 great seasons back-to-back afterwards. On the corner, 1-1. His brother, David Pereira, had some D2 baseball. He played at Rollins College. Inside, 2-1. His 74 RBIs are the 4th most in FSW program history for baseball. His 13 home runs across his career at FSW, the 7th most all-time. They'll get the tag for out number 2. Throw across the diamond. Gets out number 3. 5-3 double play. And Pereira unsuccessful with the bases full. Ignasiak escapes the inning. Almost leaving him loaded. 2 stranded on no errors or no hits. 1 error and a couple of walks to complete his day in the bullpen as a lefty continues to warm up as we head to the 5 innings complete for B.J. Bailey. They'll give him the rest of the day off as Tampa holds on to a comfortable 10-run lead. 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, 5 hits, 3 earned. Most earned runs of the season for B.J. Bailey, but a good outing nonetheless. It'll be Kenny Robinson to try to get some outs out of the bullpen. 3 innings, 5 strikeouts. A bit wild to start the season with 4 walks too, but we'll see how the junior out of St. Pete does today. Top of the 6th as we continue. Tampa have given up 5 hits in that span. Davenport, 9 hits. The difference comes from the free pass. Only 1 extra base runner allowed with no errors and 1 walk. Spartans pitching. Davenport have had a handful with those hit by pitches and 11 walks on the day. Tampa really showcasing their S-tier discipline at the plate. And while it is Davenport struggling to throw strikes as there's a swing and a miss, strike 1 from Robinson, Tampa is also one of the most disciplined teams in the nation. And not just in D2, but in all of college baseball. The ability to get on base is a prerequisite to be a Spartan. As the count goes 1-1, fastball missing inside to Aiden Warren. Warren, Powenski, and Lyford due up. There were a couple of changes on defense for Davenport. There will be a few more for the Spartans. Turr at third, Graham at short, Goldberg at second, Kennedy enters at first, McCaffrey in right, Makara in left, Soto in center, and Fogel forming the battery. Pereira staying as the DH, so doesn't have to worry about playing defense. 1-2 now for Robinson. Chop to third, that is caught on the run by Turr. 1 down.
Yeah. What? Double header sweep, yeah, you know. Dave's rooting for a loss now.
That'll be ball 1 missing. Warren will get ahead to start the at-bat.
Dave's the player of the game up there.
Fouled away, 1-1.
Gil, did you get some lasagna? You're not?
When I was chatting pregame with Jordan Evans, you know, he talked about the team culture, and he really mentioned that he loves how the team is motivated to win. They hate losing, and they're all sharing the same goal, which is to go back to back to back as national champs. And you can definitely see that from so much of the team, just a desire to compete and fight hard. That's exactly what they've been able to do. Oh, in the corner, but drifting away. 2-2 from Robinson. A lefty continuing warm-ups in the bullpen for Davenport. Robinson continuing against the DH. Powinski hit a home run earlier. Swing and a miss down low, and the drop third strike doesn't actually have a throw to first. That was just a quick pop from Fogel to Kennedy. 2 down for Lyford.
Third baseman Travis Lyford.
Outside, ball 1. Lyford struck out back in the third in his previous at-bat. Make it 2-0, drifting away. That'll be 3-0 now. Lindell on deck. No pinch hitting change, as that'll hit the corner for strike 1. Lyford continuing to try to keep the inning alive. That'll get through the hole, out of reach of Goldberg. A 2-out single for Davenport. Clean base hit there. Second hit of the weekend for Lyford to bring up Lindell.
Second baseman Carson Lindell.
Inside, ball 1. He got his first hit of the weekend back in the second inning, leading off the second with that single. He's 1 for 2 today. Oh, and 1-1. That one fouled back. And the one for Davenport in a 1-1 count, with one runner on the base path. Hit up the middle and scooped by Kenny Robinson, inning over. Great grab on the mound, and it was some nice defensive plays this inning from the Spartans to keep it quick for Kenny Robinson. And we'll be back in the bottom of the 6th. Tampa leads So it'll be a freshman on the mound. Anthus out of the bullpen for Davenport. He's a freshman out of Cass City. He played football, basketball, and baseball. He's the all-time strikeout leader at his high school. He had 4 high school no-hitters as well. He's had 2 starts this season. They were a little bit wild. He's actually still looking for his first collegiate strikeout. He'll actually have a multi-inning relieving stint right here as he takes on Evans, Irigoyen, and Vanacek. But there are a couple of changes in the way. It's actually Makara in the game here. Fogel on deck. And Kennedy after. Strike 1. Makara falls behind to start the inning. Soto's the only player in the Spartan starting lineup still in the game, playing out in center field. As that'll be on the corner, strike 2 to Makara. For the season, Makara is 1 for 6. He had an RBI. 6'2 freshman out of Charleston, South Carolina. Down low, 1-2. Tampa with a comfortable lead, so they're doing some rotating with 8 different fielders. It's also the reason they likely gave B.J. Bailey the rest of the game off. He could have had a quality start, but no need to let him go too deep, especially with so much time in between innings. Swing and a miss, and it's the first collegiate strikeout for Anthes. They're going to want to save that ball. 1 down for Matthew Fogel. And it's Drew Kennedy on deck. Inside, ball 1. Matthew Fogel this season is looking for a hit. He's 0 for 7. Picked up 3 RBIs in a pretty big Spartan win against Eckerd last season, a 27-1 Tampa advantage. And he'll take strike 1. 1-1 now from Anthus. Fouled back, 1-2. Tipped foul. Great job staying alive from Fogel, but he still remains behind the count. One ball, 2 strikes. On the corner, but no strike called. Anthus was ready. Instead, it's 2-2. That one's popped up, but Warren can't give chase. That's going to go out of play. Still 2-2. Two on the way. Inside, 3-2. And the count has gone full for Fogel. Drew Kennedy's on deck. He's playing first base today. And that is ball 4. If that was strike 3, Fogel would probably be able to reach safely on a drop third strike. 1 on, 1 away for Kennedy. The junior out of Malvern, Pennsylvania. Had just under a 400 average last year with the JV side. This year, a reserve catcher and infielder for Tampa. He's been part of both these national championship winning sides these last 2 years for Tampa. And he'll take away for ball 1. Another lefty-lefty matchup for Anthus. Dennis McCaffrey, the sophomore out of Crawford, New Jersey, is on deck. Actually out of Cranford. Checks the runner. Anthus misses, 2-0. Soto after McCaffrey, unless they make a change in center field. Do they bring Maddox King into the game? That one misses, and that'll advance the runner. Three 3-0 to Kennedy with a runner now in scoring position. That'll get rid of the double play opportunity, which is definitely going to sting for Anthus. That is ball 4. A free base for Kennedy to bring up Dennis McCaffrey. .417 on base percentage this year. And back in high school, he played with his father as his head coach. He hit the walk-off home run to secure his father's 500th win. Pretty cool moment for Dennis. That one's high, ball 1. Chopped foul, 1-1. Tough day for Brooks to plate. He's genuinely been really good. But today a little quiet. See if McCaffrey has better spot in this heart of the order spot. 1-1 now. Anthus to McCaffrey. Bottom of the 6th. Tampa leads 13-0 or 13-3. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Anthus with a strikeout and 2 walks today. I think he might be able to keep up that 3 true outcome streak right here. McCaffrey would love to put the ball in play. One-two to McCaffrey. Hit sharply to third, past the diving third baseman. And Fogel will come home. Runners at first and second. Soto ready to go again. And for Dennis McCaffrey, that's his second RBI of the season. 4 RBIs now for him in his Spartans career. It's 14-3 Tampa. Javi Soto with 2 hits, a hit by pitch and a walk. He is looking for another 3-hit day. If he gets it, I'd imagine Tampa could look to the bench. Tampa's used a lot of their outfielders, though, so the question is who would replace Soto. Strike 1. Turner and Goldberg await. They're looking for their second plate appearances of the day. Off the bench, Tampa doesn't really have any other batters they could call upon apart from Casey King as the count goes 1-1. I'd imagine we will see Kenny Robinson back on the mound. But there also could be a swap to a different pitcher for Tampa for the 7th. 2-1 now to Soto. And a reminder, both teams are playing again after this game finishes. The initial start time was supposed to be 4 p.m. I guess it's probably closer to 5 at best. That one grazes Soto. Or either way, if it didn't hit Soto, the runners do advance on the wild pitch. It's 3-1. Two in scoring position now. Also gets rid of the double play opportunity. It was a sharp ground ball for McCaffrey's RBI beforehand. Anthus would have loved to force another one of those to try to get the double play. And that one hits Soto, so the runners will go backwards. Second hit by pitch of the day for Javi Soto. And ironically, it's a benefit because it would have brought home a runner home on a wild pitch. Instead, bases are loaded for Jake Turr. And you definitely like having Turr in this situation. Command has been a struggle this inning for Anthus, but at the same time, you can't make the change. You just got to let Anthus find a way out of it. Anthus has a very low leverage appearance here with an 11-run deficit, but it always is scary to have the bases loaded. Here's Turr. He got hit by a pitch. He singled and had an error. Or actually, he had an error to get on board in his previous at-bat. Had a potential double play ball, but the error helped him out. The transfer from Lindau to Clay just got away from the glove for Clay. So here's Anthus. One down in the bottom of the sixth. That one hits Turr. And that will bring home another run. Turr with another RBI, third of the season. That one missing low, ball one. Tampa leads 15-3. Goldberg now gets the bases loaded after two hit by pitches in a row out of Anthus. On the corner. 0-1. 0-2 now, actually. Goldberg flew out last time. That'll bring home another. They actually try to get the flip to the plate, but it's not in time. One-two to Goldberg. That one's down to the dirt, 2-2. Goldberg's had a hit in 3 at-bats this season. 4, counting the one earlier today. That one flared in the right field. That could be a blooper, and yes, it is! It'll clear the bases, and Goldberg's going to take a double out of it, 17-3. Actually, no, they're only going to bring one run home. They hold up Turr at third. RBI double out of Devin Goldberg. A.J. Graham has 2 on. And there will be a conference on the mound. There's no one warming up, so it's just going to be Coach talking with Anthus, trying to get the freshman back in the game. Well, actually, rather, looks like they are they're bringing someone onto the mound out of the dugout rather than the bullpen. We'll be right back. AJ Graham to the plate now for the Spartans. Had to double check our muted settings were unmuted now. I'm Taylor Sorthy. Thank you for tuning in on the SSC Digital Network. It's Max Ferrick, the outfielder, getting a chance on the mound. Swing and a miss, strike one. Thanthis' struggles. A new player. He'll be out there for Davenport. And he'll just miss high, 1-1. That one missing low, 2-1. He's got a solid arm, and to keep the rest of the bullpen healthy, because it's been pretty busy today, they have brought him out here to try to get out of the inning. One down in the bottom of the sixth. Graham fouls away, 2-2. Ferrick's a freshman out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. His favorite athlete is Michael Jordan, and he's also a big Notre Dame fan. And a lot of high school accolades back at Forest Hills Eastern. Swing and a miss! Will retire A.J. Graham for his first collegiate K. 2 down in the inning. It's up to Nick Pereira to keep things going for the Spartans. Hit into a double play to end the previous frame. They'll get another chance right here. Strike one. We're exclusively seeing a strong fastball out of Ferrick. Don't know what the velo numbers will be on him. 0-1. Oh, and 2. Good spot. Is this the start of a two-way journey for Max Ferrick, the freshman, with an 0-2 count to Nick Pereira? Good block by the catcher. 1-2. Fastball missing low. That one missing, 2-2. He was ready for strike 3, but it landed a bit low. Some of the fans a little disappointed. Two on the way to Pereira. Ball 3. And that'll bring the count full. Runners won't be going because there is a free base to put him. Makara is on deck. Will he get a second plate appearance of the inning? Or will we jump to the 7th for his next try? Payoff pitch. Strike 3 looking. Froze him to end the inning. Tampa's got a 14-run lead thanks to 4 more runs. We're off the top. 2. Kenny Robinson continues his warm-up for his second inning on the mound. The St. Pete native had a clean inning last time out, and he's got an even larger lead now. I'm Taylor Storley. Welcome back to the SSC Digital Network for Tampa baseball. And the Spartans have jumped to a 14-run advantage after starting the game, trailing 3-0.
This game? Yeah. Oh, good.
Low and inside, ball 1. One and one now, that one missing out of Robinson. Harbaugh, Gregus, and Clay due up. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Missing 2-2. Good slider out of Robinson, but Harbaugh with a great take. Got him looking, strike 3. Painted that low fastball. Second K of the day for Kenny Robinson. One down, and what could be the final inning. There will be, with the doubleheader, I believe the run rule called should Tampa hold on to the advantage. Not confirmed yet, but that's most likely what will be the case. Greg is 0 for 2 so far, strikeout and a ground out. Right on the corner, 0-1. Tampa women's lacrosse has recently been able to close out a win as the count goes 1-1. That one inside, 1-2. Got him going for strike 3. No, he did not. The umpire was given the point that I thought would have been a strike 3 call, but he checked with his umpire partner, and Little says he held up. 2-2 now, Robinson to Gregus. Outside, 3-2. On deck is Clay. Big payoff pitch coming up. And that is ball 4, just missing. First base runner of the inning for Davenport. First walk they've drawn against Robinson. Great at bat out of Gregus. One on, one away. Double play ball is possible. Clay is getting changed here. Joey Barboza in the game. Strike 1. Barboza 1 for 13 in plate appearances this season. He has drawn 3 walks though. Safe. Quick check on the runner. Inside, 1-1. Right on the corner, strike 2. Good off-speed offering out of Robinson. Last season, he had 37 Ks in 32 innings with Eastern Florida State. A lot of bad BABIP luck, gave him a high ERA, though. Urso likes his stuff. And that's going to get down. Speaking of bad BABIP luck, that'll put runners at the corners. Actually, they'll hold up at first and second. Gregus in scoring position. Actually, correction, that's Cam Johnson. And Farrick is ready to go at the plate. He was actually a defensive player out in center field to start his outing before making a move to the mound. Strike 1. On the season at the plate, Farrick has had 5 at-bats. He's had a base hit. One and one. Swan awaits.
There is, yeah.
Inside 2 and 1 as we continue. So here comes the 2-1. Robinson trying to get out of the jam here. Davenport would love to try to take some momentum into the next inning or next game. Swing and a miss. Some high heat from Robinson, 2-2. Chopped on the ground at short, not enough time for 2. Graham fires, and they get the out. No! They say that Kennedy slipped off the bag. Great hustle as the bases are loaded with 1 away.
The hit, Dave?
I think that will be classified as a hit. It was a very close play at first. Great hustle by Graham to try to get the out there. There are now outs everywhere on the board for Swan, the replacement at the catcher position. Hit to second. There's 1. Not enough time to quickly go for 2. Catch made by Goldberg. And that'll help out Robinson. Any forced out ends the inning and would consequently take us to game 2 of the series, or game 2 of the day. Replacing Aiden Warren at the plate, it's the number 23, Vincent Hardy.
Big hitter.
Big hitter number 23, Vincent Hardy.
Hardy to try to keep the game alive. 0 for 2 this season at the plate. Fouled, strike 1. That is going to be strike 2. Hit down the line. If that's fair, that's a salami. It's foul. Would have been about 320 feet. So it'll stay 0-2. Very nice swing, though. Swing and a miss, and Robinson gets the strikeout. And that'll do it for game 1 of the series. Ends his day with 3 Ks as Tampa goes up 18-3. Given that we've got the doubleheader, they do have the run-ahead rule for the doubleheader. But the good news for Davenport, they will be right back in about 30 to 40 minutes' time. It'll have 9 more innings potentially of baseball here at Tampa's baseball stadium, the Birdcage. 6-0 record for B.J. Bailey. He gets the win after 5 solid innings. And Tampa's bullpens are ready to go. How will Davenport respond?